One of the most surprising features of the death of Jesus comes from Matthew's Gospel and only Matthew's Gospel. It's a text that we haven't heard preached very much because, quite frankly, it's difficult to locate, it's difficult to interpret, it's difficult to exactly know what to do with this. And it occurs in Matthew chapter 27, verse 50, after Jesus has breathed his last and cried out in a loud voice after the curtain separating the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple has been torn. Verse 52 says, "The tombs broke open, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs, and after Jesus' resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many people." Now, if you're like me, you have 1,000 questions, some productive, some unproductive, about this couplet of verses and about how all this went down. The story leaves us hanging. We don't know what happened to these holy people. We assume, of course, they had to go back into the tomb where they were resting to begin with. And yet, perhaps, this passage, this couplet of verses, is key to something Matthew has been doing for his entire gospel, and that is introducing us to the already not yet of early Christian eschatology. Matthew's view of time would have been much different than ours. It would have been connected to the ancient Jewish conception of time, in which time was seen not so much as a linear, ongoing progression from a point in the past to a point in the future. Time was seen more cyclically. Time was seen not in terms of year after year after year, but in terms of two eras, two ages that we find throughout Old and New Testaments. The first era, or the first age, often called this present age in the words of Paul in the time of Jesus, would have been an age characterized by problems, by sin, by disaster, by illness, by death, by disease, and the figurehead, the mascot for this age is, of course, Adam. This age, in Matthew's thought, is what was responsible for the crucifixion of Jesus and the death of God. And therefore, at God's death, this age begins to give way to the new age that the ancient Jews look forward to. You can read about it in the prophets of the Old Testament. You can read about it in the apocryphal literature. You can read about it in the Psalms of Solomon, 2nd Baruch, 4th Ezra, and other contemporaneous Jewish literature this time. This new age that the ancient Jews look forward to, that would no longer have as its figurehead and mascot Adam, but instead Adam would be replaced by the Messiah. And the Messianic age would be an age of shalom, of peace, of wholeness, of healing, of everything that Matthew has been contending for 27 chapters now that Jesus has come to bring. And so it is almost as if these dead, holy people have gotten their ages mixed up. Now that the new age has been supplanted by the Messiah, it's almost as if they assume it is time to rise from the dead, according to that Jewish schema of time. And Matthew's response is, of course, yes and not yet. And therefore we get this strange zombie story. How might it connect to our society? A society that is right now stuck in this moment of cultural fixation on zombies. Think about what zombies do. They have no perspective on the other, no care for anything but self. Zombies are purposeless. They wander around, and zombies have one job description, and that is to consume. It's really an expose on modern militaristic American consumerism. Perhaps the zombies from chapter 27 could save us from the zombies of our culture, the zombies of our consciousness.